This has been the president in the Oval Office meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince. And John, boy, did they take questions on a range of issues.
You know, it's not often you hear from Mohammed bin Salman, but he was right in there with the president. I thought it was very interesting when he said that Saudi Arabia wants to be a part of the Abraham Accords. They just want some guarantees on certain other items, including a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians. So that may be a hang-up for a while, but it was interesting that he wants Saudi Arabia to get on that track. And as you'll remember, that was one of the impetuses for Hamas to launch the horrible October 7th attack, trying to derail that whole process. But it looks like it might be back on track.
Yeah. All right, John. There was also a range of issues brought up about the economy and the Fed chair. The Saudi Crown Prince making some big news there. We're going to bring Charles Payne in on that. Charles, I want to just bring you in on the breaking news. The president was asked if he's met with these Fed chairs that he's possibly going to replace Jerome Powell with. An interesting moment in the Oval Office. Your takeaway from what we just heard?
I think it's really critical. You know, all these conversations that we're having about affordability and the sort of inequality gap, if you will, how it continues to widen. I continue to think that the Fed is probably the most significant aspect of all of this. And, you know, just this interpretation of the economy, Sandra, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, all the hawks on the Fed, every other day, they're out there talking about inflation and how robust the economy is. And I think they're completely out of touch with 80% of this population. And I think it's the way they go about their job, really, to be honest with you. So the sooner we can get a new Fed official in there, obviously, the better. Because I know the White House is grappling with different things. They're throwing a whole lot of ideas out there, you know, a whole lot of trial balloons out there. And it's, you know, and it's fine. That's what you want to do. We want to hear the ideas, but I think we need something more concrete, and especially when it comes to the Federal Reserve. Because
the president keeps addressing this idea of an affordability crisis, which you see a lot of headlines about. Whether or not we are in one, the president took that on. This is at the McDonald's Impact Summit yesterday. Listen.
Affordable should be our word, not theirs, because the Democrats got up and talked affordability, and they don't say that they had the worst inflation in history, the highest energy prices in history. Everything was the worst. What they're great at is lying. They say affordability. This stuff was all much more expensive.
So, Charles, where are you on this? I mean, people say, and we saw this show up in voting, that, you know, people are struggling still with high prices of some goods. Is there an affordability crisis?
There's certain things, right? But it is ironic that the richest area in America is the Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, followed closely by Manhattan, New York City, followed closely by California. So that I don't buy, just because the media said that was all about affordability, those elections, I think that was something different. However, there is, when it comes to housing. It's not new, though. There's been an affordability crisis for a long time, in part because of the Federal Reserve. They blew it, and they skewed it so many people with these high mortgage and low mortgages aren't willing to sell, so they may get a new place and lose anything they made, any profits, because of the high mortgage rates. But something came out yesterday that was really amazing to me. The banks, applications and rejections. They set a record on rejections, a record number of applications.
Rejecting
for credit,
loans that people are applying for. Okay.
The only thing that went up, the rejection rates went down if you want to expand your credit card limit. That was the only thing. So they'll keep you in the game if you want to max out your credit card a little bit more, but that's not wealth. Right, and that's not, you know, so.
But what does that tell you about the economy? People are looking to increase their credit card balance. They're saying yes.
They're spending.
Yeah, I understand. Right. Doesn't that say people are in a tough place?
Yes, they turned down almost 50% in mortgage refis. Think about that. 24% of overall credit, again, a record, was rejected. So, you know, and this is why we have to look at this as more than just one economy, more than just one consumer. But look, lumber prices crashed, egg prices have crashed. Oil, gasoline used to be the main thing that we looked at when we measured inflation. It's come down dramatically. So to President Trump's point, a lot of key areas have come down dramatically. It's just, how do you afford it? Affordability is not always price, right? It's wages. Wages have to go up more. They started to go up for blue-collar workers, but they have to go up a lot more. But the big problem is that when we had that inflation spike, the 9.2%, one thing people have to realize is prices hardly ever go down. So even if they go up just incrementally, you still need that wage growth has to catch up, and we've got a long way to go.
I know, and then there's the debate over President Trump urging those interest rates to go down. If they go down more, doesn't that increase spending power?
It
and
won't.
then the prices go up even more.
That's a false argument. That's a false argument. People are paying. I've got a beautiful chart. I'm going to send it to you when I go back to my office. It shows you what the average person watching this show is spending about 24%, 20 to 24% on their credit card. A business can raise money. A Fortune 500 can raise money at 4%. So, I mean, we have to help those people who have these huge limits. We can't worry about someone who's making it week to week. Oh, they got an extra couple of bucks in their pocket.
You're so passionate about this stuff and so right most of the time. Send me that chart.
79%. I'll see you
get back to your office, Charles. We'll see you at 2 o'clock on FBN.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Charles.
Thanks.
All right, John.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.